హైదరాబాద్లోని మాదాపూర్లో అంతర్జాతీయ టెక్ పార్క్ను రాష్ట్ర ఐటీ పురపాలక శాఖ మంత్రి KTR ప్రారంభించారు. పెట్టుబడులకు హైదరాబాద్ అనువైన ప్రాంతమని మంత్రి అన్నారు.
In fact, we had a group of 250 builders and construction companies from Maharashtra who we hosted here in Hyderabad. And one of the things that one of the leading builders from Maharashtra told me was, they went around Hyderabad for 3 days. And then he comes to me and he says, so what is happening in Hyderabad essentially is, what is being built here essentially is India's own version of Singapore. And I was so delighted because Singapore is a country that I look up to. Singapore is certainly a country that we all looked up to. Singapore, Japan, these are the nations that have done tremendously well in our own, continent, Asia. And these are the countries we have so much to learn from. I have to confess, Mano, that while we were formulating our industrial policy in Telangana, we have looked at EDB, we have studied all the things that you guys have done in Singapore and have copied many aspects of it. We did not pay you for that, sorry about that. But we copied many aspects. Life is all about learning good things, picking up, imbibing the best elements of, and you also know that wise people learn from others' experience. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, you don't have to start from the scratch. So, have picked up quite a few things, and as Gauri said, I think Capital Land has been vested in Hyderabad for a very long time, and I also believe that they will continue to remain vested for the long term. The data center is coming up rather well, is what I was told. Buildings are looking swanky, and I'm sure you're going to add many more buildings to the skyline here. We also discussed a couple of other opportunities. Mano was surprised when I told him that we are the life sciences capital of not just India, but we are by far the most important life sciences hub, one of the most important life sciences hubs in the world. Hyderabad manufactures 1/3 of human vaccines, 33% of human vaccines. 9 billion doses of vaccines are produced from Hyderabad every year. By next year, it will be 14 billion doses. The reason why I'm mentioning is because your board is here. They need to know. The next time one of your children is getting a vaccine shot, or one of your employees is getting a vaccine shot, there's 1 in 3 chance could have been made in Hyderabad. We not only produce the largest number of vaccines in the world, we also produce 40% of India's pharmaceuticals. We also have the largest number of US FDA approved manufacturing facilities for any province in the world. We have the largest number, the second largest is New Jersey in the US. We have 214 US FDA approved manufacturing facilities. That number keeps growing, it's a dynamic number. New Jersey has 189. So one of the things I request Capital Land also to look at is investing in life sciences sector, because now lab spaces, which is what are required, in terms of a plug-and-play infrastructure for life sciences companies, are a huge draw, and I would urge you to consider looking at it. Manufacturing is important. As the world starts looking at the geopolitical situation, too much reliance on China, I think we are seeing increased interest in manufacturing in India. And one of the other things that could be of great interest to you, Mano, and your team is the possibility of setting up industrial warehouses, plug-and-play infrastructure for manufacturing companies. And that is again a great asset and a great investment for a company like Capital Land to look at. These are the 2 areas I would urge you to look at. What makes Hyderabad exciting? What makes Hyderabad very, very interesting and very, very attractive is not just the physical infrastructure. Hyderabad has got abundance of talent. The other day I was inaugurating a lab in Genome Valley, a new company called Chemo, which is a Spanish company. I was inaugurating their lab. So there was this gentleman who's actually the CEO of the company. He's a Spaniard. So he was there, we were talking, and I just asked him a very, very harmless, innocuous question. I said, so Lucas, are you investing in my state, in my city, in my country because of the labor arbitrage? Are you looking at this from a cost perspective? He said, no. It only costs 25% lesser for me. Of course, that's interesting. But he said, you're looking at this lab. If I have to fill the same lab in Spain, it'll take me a year. But if I have to fill the same lab in India, I can do that in 2 months. It's not just the talent. It's the abundance of talent. It's the availability of talented manpower that makes Hyderabad, Telangana, and India very, very attractive. So my request to you, Mano, we have so many things to work on. We have great manufacturing opportunity as the world starts speaking about China plus one or moving away from China kind of a strategy. We also have huge opportunities in life sciences, in logistics, in industrial manufacturing, and the list goes on, data centers and everything else, of course. Right across the road, if you look at, you'd see the world's second largest campus of Novartis. That's the building away. Now, the reason why I mention Novartis is because they have 9,000 people working out of this building, which is right across the road. But out of these 9,000, only 400 actually work inside of a lab. The remaining 8,600 plus are working on computers, are basically working on simulations, are working on the digital intersection between technology and biology. That's what makes Hyderabad exciting. That's what makes India exciting. So my request to you, make this your hub in India. Do not look at Chennai, Bangalore, or Bombay and other. We all make mistakes in life, I know. You've made the mistake of investing in other places. But make this your hub. Have small little centers elsewhere in the country. But make this your one-stop shop. I assure you of full support. And as Gauri said, we work like a startup, we think like a startup. We are with you for the long haul. We believe in collaboration, we believe in partnership. I know that your entire board is here, so therefore I have I went beyond my brief to also make a pitch to them so that you don't have to do the hard sell the next time you're in the board. So thank you guys for visiting. I hope you enjoy Hyderabad. It's a beautiful city. It has got history, culture, heritage. There's plenty of shopping also to do, Jessica. And Jessica is the Deputy Speaker of Singapore Parliament, so I think please welcome her with a round of applause. She's also on the board. So I was just telling Jessica that Indian Parliament is debating the Women's Reservation Bill, which we of course welcome wholeheartedly, and we want to see more and more women leaders. And if I have to lose my seat for that, so be it. But the fact is, that's all right. That's all right. We all have a limited shelf life, which is fine. I think I've done my thing. But the thing is, Women's Reservation Bill, I think is an important milestone, and I'm glad you're in India witnessing it. So thank you again to the entire team of Capital Land for joining us, and onwards and upwards. Thank you.
So I'm not supposed to say anything, but after a speech like that, I have to reciprocate at least, So, yeah. So first of all, I just want to say that Capital Land has been in India for close to 30 years. And I was just sharing with Minister that in the last 10 years, we have become 3 times bigger than what we were in the first 20 years. So our commitment to India is unabated. And we are actually pressurizing the team to exceed their growth targets even more. And I'm not going to share with you who already know, what India is all about. I think it has never been a better time to be an Indian or to be in India, right? We all know that. So we are totally committed to India. And of course, within India, Hyderabad is a critical node for us. And some of my friends on the board had not been here for 5 years. And when we drove through the city, I think Kevin is one of them. He said, "Where are we?" Right? So all these things that that we have seen, the tremendous development in Hyderabad in the last 5 years 5 to 8 years has been one of a kind. I think it's comparable. I won't even say to Singapore. In Singapore, we can't build so many buildings so fast because we don't have the land. But the vision that you have had, I think it is comparable to any Chinese city when it was at the peak of its growth, right? So it's tremendous, right? And that is really the reason. The building that you are sitting in here was a over 30-year-old building called the V. It was the first multi-tenanted IT building anywhere in Hyderabad. It was a very green side, looked very nice, very romantic, but not state of the art. So that's where we took a critical decision 9 years ago to rebuild this whole campus. And the original floor area was about it was only about 200,000 square feet, and when this whole complex is built, it will be about 5 million square feet. And this is the first phase, the 1.4 million square feet. And I was also sharing with Minister, we had some concerns because there was COVID, there were delays, there was some uncertainty. So we were not sure how long it will take to lease up the building. Partly due to the hard work of our team, but a lot also because of the attraction of Hyderabad, we were able to attract and fill up this building and today it's 100% leased, and with great names.